It seems like there is more and more drama in the XRP community every day, and it's coming from well-known people in the space. In this video, I want to talk about a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes, not just with XRP, but with this whole space and the technology that powers it so that it can be fully adopted, used on a large scale, and eventually built into the world's banking system. All of you are welcome to the group. If this video is your first time on the channel, I hope you decide to join by the end. If we take this market at face value right now, things look pretty bad. It's been a really rough 8 weeks. Going all the way back to December, this area hasn't changed much. This is what a year looks like, still pretty good. But this is how XRP has looked over the last month. For the time being, everyone is really getting caught up. There has been price action in this area, but I want you to understand that the big picture for XRP and a lot of the utility side of this area is very bullish. We know this because of what's happening with this technology, and the plan for how we get there has already been laid out. Crypto, I understand the goal of keeping people from getting lost, but there's a much better way to do it than this. That's why I want to start this video with a post from a recognized name. First, we'd all be better off if the XRP community worked as hard to stop spreading false information as it does to argue with Bitcoin maxes. XRP is the only digital currency that can be stored on the XRP ledger. This is right, ISO 222 has nothing to do with XRP. Now, this is actually wrong. I get it now. We should not think that ISO 2022 has nothing to do with XRP when we really think about what it does for space. This is more about how ISO 2022 makes it possible for these assets and technologies to be used in the space. It's only a general statement to say that XRP has nothing to do with ISO 2022. Yes, you could take this apart and say, yeah, there are parts of that that are true. It's technically wrong. Besides that, Ripple's Ripple NetBiz is not the XRP database, even though no, it's not. Everything that Ripple does has something to do with XRP and the XRPL. We know this to be true because Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, said that everything that Ripple does is done with XRP in mind because they want XRP and the XRPL to be one of the most successful projects in this space. I just think that a lot of these comments are somewhat weak when it comes to what they say about the facts. For example, we can look at this and say, okay, this David Schwartz document says that XRP has nothing to do with ISO 222. However, when we think about ISO 222, it won't directly cause the price of XRP to rise, but I do think that this is just one of the puzzle pieces to, actually having. And don't worry, in this movie, I will actually prove that. Let's go back to one of my posts though, which brings us back to September. Once more, I agree with the idea that ISO, like when we think about ISO 22, this was first announced in 2004. Now, more than 20 years later, this is finally being used. It's now being used because first, the message around payments is messed up. There are a lot of flaws in it, and messaging needs to be changed to work with new platforms like blockchain and DLT. I already said it wasn't made for XRP, but Ripple was the first company to use blockchain and be ISO 222 certified. To say it again, I agree that there is a lot of rubbish in this area when it comes to XRP and ISO 222. I understand that there is a lot of rubbish. I know there is a lot of false information out there because I see it every day. But I want you to know that this is just one of the most important steps when we think about technology or what's going on with payments. I even said this over here, and this goes back to around 2023, because I've been talking about ISO 22 for a while now. We went back to my post about Volante from May 31st. This story that said Volante will be working with Citi to speed up the adoption of ISO 222 really made me think again. It talked about an interesting subject. The key to their success will be helping banks step up to the task and meet important deadlines without slowing down their efforts to modernize. By using Volpay for ISO 2002 migration, bank treasury teams will also be able to give their corporate clients a wide range of data services that add value. These services will make reconciliation easier, improve straight-through processing, and lower fraud. For those who don't know, Volpay can be used with and integrated with Ripple. Another thing we know is that Ripple recently said they are working on making treasury payments easier by using XRP to power demand liquidity. The Volante story says that they will be moving with treasury teams from banks. We don't know, but Ripple has said that they are fighting with Citi's liquidity. Also, Ashish Birla has said that Citi will probably be their last business relationship. I do think that these links are important though, and that they make it possible for Citi clients to use Ripple tech Once more, it's fine if we want to talk about city here, but in the end, ISO 2022 is what this is all about, right? ISO 2022 is what this is all about. Like, this makes it possible for everything else to happen. Therefore, the most important thing we can do to get DLT to be used and for the infrastructure of payments to be totally changed is to improve messaging and make sure it is not broken up. Afterward, we could pay attention to clearing and payments. Now let's go over here because this is from Smoke Dog. Please watch this movie and read these 3 documents to respectfully refute the claim that ISO 2022 has nothing to do with XRP. Let's not hide the fact that XRP is closely connected to ISO 2022. This is well known and clear. Look at this. The rules for making payments today are very different in each country. So there is a different set of rules to follow if you are using the system or tips in Europe or the US. Also, the amount of data you can send and the quality of that info are both very limited. You end up with a bunch of closed networks that can't talk to each other and data that isn't organized and is hard to understand. So with ISO 2002, there is a lot of manual work to do and a really bad paying experience in the end. The issues at hand will be fixed. Okay, as of 2002, ISO 200.2 is the world standard for exchanging financial data. This lets different systems work together so payments can be processed quickly and large amounts of data can be sent easily. Because it's open and flexible, it will also make competition stronger. Ripple has always been in line with ISO 200.2. We've always known that payments should go in this direction because it's better for everyone, and we were really the first ones to do that. We also became a member of the standard group to help shape payments in the future. To add to what you said about security, Ripple is also very dedicated to the greatest levels of safety, privacy, and security, and the fact that we have our SOC 2 approval is proof of this. For people who don't know much about SOC 2, SOC 2 reports are very helpful because they show how secure a company is, so all of their customers and users can trust that service. This means that anyone who uses Ripple's solution knows that we follow the most up-to-date security and privacy rules. Along the same lines, we also got our SOC 2 Type 2 report. Not only do we have the policies and procedures in place for different criteria linked to system integrity and security, but we've also been following them consistently for a while now. That being said, this whole conversation, which comes from the head of payment products at Ripple, she was also there. It was kind of like a meeting with the heads of payments at Citi and Swift. Again, the most important thing is to make sure that the info is easy to get to and that everything works together, because everything is broken if you don't manage the data and messages in a way that works with each other. By fixing this through ISO 2002, everything else can work at full speed, which means that payments can now be made on DLT tracks. We can now make payments easier. We can get lower rates on our payments. A lot of things can move around the world very quickly. We also have this one over here. I could open all of these in a new tab so that you can read them with me. It turns out there's another one down here. The first one is from the 6 group. Then we have cryptocurrencies that meet ISO 22. But recent events show that cryptocurrencies are starting to use the ISO 22 standard for sending financial messages, which is well known and used around the world. This change could be seen as an effort to make standard financial systems work better with each other, while making more people accept and believe cryptocurrencies. Pros of standardization and interoperability. ISO 2822 makes a system that can be used all over the world for exchanging messages for payments made across borders, including cryptocurrencies. Once more, this standardization makes it easier for cryptocurrencies to work with current financial systems. And yes, you do get better cooperation as well. In this way, you are building trust with officials and big players in the financial world. Integration with national banks and other financial institutions is another thing to think about. Again, coins that are compliant with ISO 22 are more likely to be added to centralized payment systems. As we already know, Ripple is ISO 22 compatible. This means that their tech stack, which includes Ripple payments and encourages the use of XRP and XRP, could be added to centralized payment systems. Then there are those crossword puzzle payouts that improve them. We know